In this video, we will see how to construct a stem and leaf plot and then use the plot to find the mean, median, and mode. So the data shown below represent the percentage of unemployed males for a sample of countries of the world. Using whole numbers as the stem and decimals as leaves, construct a stem and leaf plot. So we're going to first locate the largest and smallest numbers in the data set. The highest number is 9.8. The lowest number is 0.3. So I want my stem plot to range from 0.3 to 9.8. When we make a stem plot, we always cut the number after the ones digit. And the number in front will be the stem, and the number after will be your leaf. So my first stem is 0. For 9.8, when I divide the digits, I get a stem of 9. So when I construct my stem plot, I want to make sure that my stems start at 0 and end at 9. When you do this, make sure you start with the first stem and count up to the last stem and don't leave any gaps. Even if you have numbers that are, not in the 60s or 70s, you still want to leave that between the 0 and the 9. Now what we want to do is go through the data and just organize the numbers with the leaves. So first I'm going to search for any numbers with 0 point something, and it looks like I just have the value 0.3. When you put this leaf in your stem plot, don't put the decimal and don't put any commas. Now I'm looking for numbers that are 1 point something. So I have a 1.9 and I have a 1.5. So we need to put that in order, 5 and then 9. Again, no decimals, no commas. Now I'm searching for decimal numbers 2 point something. So I have a 2.2, and it looks like that's the only value there, so just put the leaf of 2. Now look for numbers with 3 point something, and we have 3.1, 3.1, and that's it. So that's a repeating leaf of 1 and 1 again. Now we look for decimals with 4 point something, and I have 4.4, 4.6, 4.1, 4.6. Okay, so in order that would be 4.1, which is just a leaf of 1, 4, 4, 4, 6, 4, 6. So 1, 4, and 6 and 6 are the leaves. Now search for numbers that are 5 point something. So we have two 5.6s. We have a 5.2, so I'll put the 2 in there. We have a third 5.6, so I have 6, 6, 6 to represent 5.6 3 times. I also have a 5.9, so 9 would be that leaf. Now looking for decimal numbers with 6 point something, we have two 6.0s, so you're going to put 0 and then 0 again. And we have two 6.6s, so 6 and 6 again. Numbers that are 7 point something, we just have 7.7, so just the 7. And then numbers that are 8 point something, we have 8.7, we have 8.8, so that would just be 7 and 8. Now numbers that are 9 point something, we have 9.6 and 9.8 to finish the plot. So now that the data is all organized, let's go ahead and calculate the mean of the data. So the mean is where you have to add up all of the numbers and you want to divide by the total. So if you were looking at a stem plot and you didn't have access to the original data, you would have to be told a key to read the stem plot so that you know that these are decimal numbers. So a key would read something like 0/3 would be 0.3, so that you would know what to enter in your calculator. So the mean is the sum of all the x's divided by n. N is the total numbers in the stem plot. You can count the total numbers from the original data. You can also count your leaves to get the total. So when I add up all of the values, I get 127.5 as the sum. And then the total values in the data set are 24. So the mean is 127.5 divided by 24, or 5.3125. So you could round that to 5.31. Next, let's find another measure of center called the median. Now the median is exactly in the middle, which is helpful with an ordered stem plot because we have all of the numbers arranged in order from least to great. First, we want to look at how many numbers we have in the list total. So we would count all the leaves and we would have 24 leaves. So n is 24. Well, half of 24 is 12 numbers. So to calculate the median, I'm going to start with the first leaf and I'm going to count 12 leaves. When you go to the next row, make sure you go to the beginning as you begin your counting. So as I count these numbers, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm going to draw a line between these two sixes, which are really 5.6 and 5.6. Now before the line, I have 12 leaves. And if you count after the line, you will also have 12 leaves. So this line is the exact middle of the data, and that's the median. But you have to calculate it. It's between 5.6 and 5.6. So when it's between two numbers, you add them up and you divide by 2. 5.6 plus 5.6 divided by 2 is equal to 5.6. Now let's find the mode. Mode is most often. So we're looking for, in a stem plot, for repeating leaves. Now we do have, I want to point out here that you don't just look through all of the numbers and look for a number that repeats within the whole data, because you have to remember that the one that is repeating is two different numbers here. We have 3.1, we have 4.1, so those are different values. But leaves that are repeating right next to each other is what we want to see. So I can see that I have the most leaves repeating are these 3 6s in a row, and that corresponds to the number 5.6. So the number that repeats most often, the mode, is 5.6.